Hi, Capricorns, and welcome to your April 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm excited to talk about some intuitive messages, followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and extended reading on Patreon for you all. Let's dive right into it. No time wasting on this channel. Okay, so intuitive messages for Capricorn in April. It's likely that you will have some type of a sudden rush to have to finish some type of project or move pretty quickly at the beginning of the month. And by the end of the month, you will be having a sigh of relief, as I feel. The entire month is kind of about optimizing your systems and getting some work done. Okay. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I think the change in season will be really helpful for you getting out of winter and moving firmly into springtime here. In and of itself will be a big help and will help you to gain strength. Also having a personal change of season. It feels like Capricorn, when I'm thinking of your energy, I'm thinking of the seasons and I'm thinking of the way that changes happen sometimes in life naturally without us having to try. Okay, again, we don't have to try as humans to change the season from winter to spring. It does it by itself. It would be good, I think, for most Capricorns to understand how that's going to happen in their own lives. You know, the things that they don't have to do with their own two hands, the things that they, or changes that will just happen. So it's a really wonderful invitation for you in the month of April to just change or accept changes rather than thinking, how am I going to do it? How am I going to game the system? How am I going to make this change deliberately? Okay. It's a wonderful time to be a bit less deliberative and to just kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow. We have Jupiter, Neptune conjoining in Pisces. This should be really good for your sign. It's a sextile. And it should really increase your flexibility, adaptability, and give you more chances to rest or dream or rejuvenate. I definitely feel like it's a big call for Capricorns to experience some type of psychic healing, to experience some type of rejuvenation of a dream or a goal, but also it can be physical as well, like a chiropractic, sauna, spa, anything like that could be really good for you right now in April to kind of reorient your nervous system. Because as I'm seeing your tarot cards here, you've got kind of like Scorpio and a lot of the signs this month. It's like really good stuff and perhaps really bad stuff too. I'm not saying that you're going to have really bad stuff in April, but it's this contrast, it's this polarity that everyone's going through, you know, and it's in the astrology transits as well, with like the concentration of Capricorn energy and then Aquarius and Pisces as well. These semi-sextiles, these groupings indicate a lot of concentration of energy held and in each individual person, but the concentration is divided. It's like a kind of like if you understand astrology, you know what I'm talking about, where you have the semi-sextile, like Capricorn and Aquarius. They're right by each other. The energy overlaps, but they're polar opposite energies. So to kind of speak that into a more layman's term, it's like, I don't know, say that you have a neighbor and like you and your neighbor have completely different lifestyles or completely different beliefs. Like one is nocturnal and one is diurnal, and one's like, you know, playing their music, or say you live in apartments, or a better way to explain this, like your upstairs neighbor is nocturnal and you're like wake up really early in the morning and go to sleep really early at night. Well, you're close to each other and you must have similarities that brought you into the same apartment building, but like your lives are totally different and you clash with one another. That's the collective energy that we're working with. And we all just kind of have to do what we can, I think, to relax where we can, to heal in what way we can, and to find the good part of it. Because there's just going to kind of be this dynamic of having like not a bad neighbor, but a neighbor with a totally different lifestyle than you. And maybe some of you are having that specifically. Maybe some of you are having conflicts with neighbors, and then you can really it can also be like coworkers, you know, working with a coworker who has the same rank as you, but your philosophies and opinions are totally different. But at the same time, you're in the same company, you're working at the same rank, something has brought you together. There's been some type of similar momentum. How do we move forward with these conflicts? To me, that makes me think of the Saturn-Uranus squares that we had as well over 2021. So that must still be playing out too. As for major arcana, you have a lot of it. The Hierophant, the Magician, the Hermit, the Sun, 4. I always say if there are 3 or more, it will be a memorable month. So you are having something memorable happen to you here. And it appears to be along the lines of revelation, like revealing something to yourself, like something could be revealed to you with the Magician and the Sun and the Hierophant coming up together. Those 3 are like major aha moments coming in for you. Like, wow, I totally understand my momentum now, or I totally understand why I was finding myself there. Like, you get it now. And the Hermit also supports that. It's like studying or finding some type of hidden knowledge this month too. So it's you might want to brace yourself for April, honestly. Like, you're going to wake up to something. You're going to be like, oh my God, I've been contributing so much time or effort into something that's like a waste of time, or you might kind of feel it like that. Or you could also be like, wow, I totally see value in what I've been doing, or I totally see how it contributes. Something's going to connect for you here. On the difficult side, 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, you're working way too hard for something. Something is like reinventing the wheel with that combination. Like, you could just outsource or delegate some of this. Like, you don't have to do everything that you're doing here. I was also seeing this for Sagittarius as well. So if you have Sagittarius in your chart, check out that reading too. But it's like, this shouldn't be this hard. Like, I was seeing it all of 2021, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, they wouldn't stop coming up. And I'm like, when are we going to make this easier on ourselves? When are we just going to execute the needed changes it's like, we already know how to make this easier. We already know what we need to do, but we're prolonging it. It's almost like we'd rather have an expectant, kind of secured experience of menial, laborious, painstaking effort than we would risk creating a new structure that would give us a lot more ease, but we don't feel like we trust maybe that we'll get across that bridge to that place of ease. So we're going to have to resolve this eventually, Capricorns. Yeah, I'm seeing this for so many of the signs, but especially you and Sag this month. You guys could do it here, but if you can't do it here, if you're not trusting yourself to, like, I don't know, transition to an easier place or to make that deliberate choice, sure, we can fall back on trusting the universe to do it for us. But if you were to be deliberate about something, that's where I would be. Like, how can you outsource, delegate, or, I don't know, sign up for less hours, budget better to make that possible? There's got to be some type of relief somewhere here for you. Because I'm feeling in 2022, I suppose I can see an argument for 2021 and 2 running together and creating that 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands vibe, you know, ox year, tiger year. It kind of makes sense. But I would have loved to have seen us be able to transcend that after ox year and let tiger, you know, be a push where we wanted to push, and not like a push to like receive a paycheck or a push to meet a long-running previous level of well-being. That's really what we want to see if we're working with the natural momentum, is that we're no longer having to push so hard just to meet our bases, but now we can start pushing into some like actualization and not just base meeting. Okay. I like to see this Page of Cups and King of Cups coming up for you all. And that's not probably going to be felt until the end of April, but there is some hope coming in all month for you all, but especially by the end of the month, emotional maturation. You're going to know your limits better. You're going to know what you can and can't do, and it's going to get easier for you by that knowledge. But yeah, let's talk about your week to week really briefly here. We had long intuitive messages. Week 1, Hierophant rooted down by 5 of Pentacles. Something about poverty consciousness, or something about what you think you have to do to get by, has a major level up here. Okay. You have a major kind of revelation about like, gosh, I don't have to do that much to get by. You know, I don't have to psychologically do this to myself to get by. I feel like with the imagery of 5 of Pentacles, one of the best realizations they could have is that they've got that, you know, warm church right there. They could go in there. They don't have to be on the streets like that. So I feel like you might have to do that as well, Capricorn. You might have to accept the warm space that is right there for you and enter it. Also, both of those cards have a religious connotation as well. So there could be a new church, or there could be some type of new religious belief. I was also seeing that for Sag in April. that they were pursuing new beliefs, or that they were studying new theological based studies. So that could be coming up for you too. One way or another, you're looking at things in a different light, and you're maybe having a change of heart about certain institutions or certain hierarchies as well. Like you might, perhaps in a previous version of yourself, you thought, yeah, to be a CEO or to be like, I don't know, a government official or something would be like such a wonderful self-actualization. But now you might be kind of like, gosh, I could also like be risking my life to do that, or that could bring so much conviction or liability into my life. Like maybe that's not where it is. And again, just a hypothetical example, but it's really good to see those types of things now, like not just a sparkly cutout of what a certain role looks like, because the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction and its negative creates this kind of like sparkle effect that is not wrong, but also can distract us from the difficulties of certain roles or experiences. And, you want to see like, what does it mean to be a CEO? Okay, what does it mean to create my own company? What type of compliance does that lead me to have? What types of relationships do I need to have in place in order to do that? I might have the best idea, again, hypothetical. I might have the best idea of like a product or a company, and I know how that could operate, but also what does that mean for legalities? What does that mean for, other contributors or workforce or like payroll, or, sometimes we get really blinded by our great ideas. But unfortunately, and the Capricorns know this better than anyone, really. I'm probably preaching to the choir here. But there are a lot of things that are not roadblocks for everyone. If you have that stuff in order, wonderful. It's just important to know the beast of what you're dealing with. And I think the first week of April is going to show you what that is, or it's going to have you kind of being like, oh, that's what that means. Like, and some of you might have already be taking this step by step, kind of like trial by fire. And you're like maybe running your own company now, or it's like really, you're doing something really big and you're like, oh my God, how many different crazy relationships do I have to upkeep now? And how many like bureaucratic, how much is like the institution of bureaucracy becoming like part of my life, and now I live to like basically file papers or delegate that process, or like so much of my company now becomes a process of like record keeping or some type of compliance structure. And we certainly do not want the sparkle effect to prevent us from thinking that that's a part of what these kind of officious or hierarchical positions are like. So first week, try to really wake up to the reality of what certain things are. Again, not meant to be any type of discouragement, but we have a problem in the 2022 year cycle that I'm already seeing of like our own shine, luster, and sparkle effect kind of leading us to some weird places where we might forget to upkeep certain things like that, or find ourselves in weird places there. So we want to really at least hire out or delegate or know that we're doing that stuff right. Anyway, week number 2, Magician, rooted down by the Hermit. Juxtaposed archetypes. Part of you is like, I'm totally ready to do this. And then another part of you is like, I just want to kind of live in a country house and I want to kind of go off in a cave or something. Like it's polarized. It's very gray, but then it's very yellow. It's very crown chakra, then it's very solar plexus chakra. It's all over the board. So you might want to pinpoint how to move forward here. But one way or another, that's also very powerful, that combination of archetypes. It's hidden knowledge, it's wisdom, but then it's also capability, and it's also energy, and it's also new beginnings. So that's incredible. Like, you have what it takes to do these things. You have what it takes to realize these new goals for sure. Week number 3, you have 9 of Wands rooted down by the Sun. Too hard. We're reinventing the wheel. I'm starting to see 9 of Wands as it has been just coming up for me as a reader so much over the last year. So I suppose perhaps it's also trying to teach me, I think every reader, like regardless of the collective that they're reading for, they have like certain cards throughout different chapters of their reading career or their reading practice. that will be with them. When I first started, it was Six of Swords. When I first started on my journey before I even did YouTube, for years there, I couldn't get away from Six of Swords. Very recently, it's now been Nine of Wands. And I'm like, does that mean I'm going too hard? Does that mean I'm working too hard in my readings? Perhaps. But I think collectively, everyone has been like really trying so hard to upkeep their security and to reach some kind of finish line and to, just maintain their pace. And at a certain point in time, we've got to rest, or we've got to have an easier time. With the sun coming up, it's going to really reveal that. And it's going to show you that. It's going to shine light onto that fact if that is where you are. And I would definitely prepare you all to maybe get ahead with your work or get ahead with your tasks that you already know that are coming up there, because you might have other things you have to deal with. Or it would be really bad to have procrastinated at that point and to have to push so hard. So try to get ahead of yourself. Week 4, beautiful. Page of Cups, you're done by King of Cups. I think that Scorpio also had that combination. So emotional maturation, growth of empathy, growth of emotional responsibility as well. You're really getting some purification, rejuvenation, and replenishment there. So that'll be beautiful to see. And let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Capricorn. Let's talk about emotional growth. Let's talk about growing out of this exhaustion or trial chapter, and let's talk about more in your extended reading. I'll do a central theme and 2 supporting themes on Patreon. You can click the center of your screen now to jump over there, and it will be linked below as well. Have a wonderful month, Capricorns. Bye.